Hello, Fear the Meerkat here, and welcome to another episode of my Let's Play of the Legend of Zelda Ocarina of Time Master Quest. Took me ages to kill this lizard. That's some fine, noises he's producing there. Really look at this level, though. It's a horrible level to look at. Not really level, I suppose. I really wish I'd asked Navi what those things were called. Look at that ceiling. So I've edited out some stuff where I got hopelessly lost. Again, as I said on the last episode, I didn't do very well at that. I don't know how these bubbles can kill you, but they can hurt you anyway. These very sinister, evil bubbles. Anyway, once you've gotten rid of these guys, which you have to make go outside of its body, if you see what I mean, make them come out of the floor, or whatever it is, the bottom of this internal organ, presumably. Anyway, there's a gold sculpture in here which you cannot get. You have to press that button in the middle and that makes a fountain go up, as you see in a minute. But there is a boulder blocking the gold sculpture there, and I've tried many times to get it with bombs, and I've never managed to destroy it, not even with the bomb tube. Now maybe I'm just not very good at using the bomb tube. I'll admit that's a possibility. They could have put the gold sculpture here, but no, they didn't. They put an ordinary one, which seems pretty pointless since they put it inside a rock. Unless they were doing it just to annoy you, I don't really see the point. It can't hurt you from where it is, so what's the point? Anyway, you can maybe just about see the boulder there. If you can hear something, it's probably just my washing machine. Why doesn't C take responsibility? She's just been standing here in this place that she knows very well and could easily navigate through herself. Standing there waiting for you. Anyway, yeah, it's annoying about my washing machine. I know you don't need to know about that, but I might as well tell you anyway, since I don't really have a lot to say in this episode, to be honest. But yeah, it turns out that I washed 4 of my shirts, and it now has a mysterious stain on it that it didn't have before I washed it. I have the way that the little bags are kicking in the air there with some links not allowing her to move forwards. Her laugh is nice as well, I'll give it that. And she knows how to get a camera focused on her in a way that I suppose makes her look good. So when a camera follows me around, it just looks awkward. Unfortunately, you need to bring her here because I've tried accidentally going here without her with me, and there's no way to jump on top of that thing. So that's mysterious how it managed to close some sort of membranes, or whatever they are, inside its mouth, just because that happens to be inconvenient for the creature that it swallowed. Now, at this point, I was very annoyed at the game. I think I was talking about that in the last episode, and I really couldn't be bothered to do all of the chasing where it turned around, which it does. That creature turns direction occasionally, and trust me, it is much harder to follow it in straight line than you'd imagine it would be, even when you're not somersaulting like that, because you tend to drift to the left or to the right, either if you're just pressing forwards. So I decided, instead of chasing it when it turns around, since I have plenty of hearts at this point, I'm just going to let it attack me, and that will bring it into the right position for me to be able to get it. You'll see what I mean in a sec. Like that. That's not the way you're supposed to do it, but if you've got plenty of hearts and you're not feeling like completing this quite annoying fight, this is the way I'd suggest you do it. It's up to you, really. I mean, the good thing is that doesn't hurt you that much. Those spikes are really the only sort of attack, I suppose, that this creature has. It's not a hard boss, it's just a very annoying one because you have to run after it. But I've never liked this boss much. I must admit, the way it dies is kind of cool, if the way something dies can be kind of cool. I missed those hearts there. But yeah, this brings up an interesting point. That was an Octorok, not an octopus. But this suggests that real world kind of creatures, not just Hyrulean creatures, the creatures from our world outside of the game exist. Otherwise, why would she say octopus? So, I suppose it's possible that they've just mistranslated it or something, but it's just interesting to me anyway. Now, I don't mind being honest about this. Although I suppose if you're someone who's using an N64 to play this and not an emulation of the ROM, it must be quite annoying. With the ROM, I can save this more often than perhaps I should, and I have used that facility sometimes in this dungeon, and I'm going to be honest about that now. I suppose you could call it cheating. I'm not saying it's morally right. I'm just saying I wasn't in the mood for losing all of my lives and starting again. I don't know, maybe I was a bit too harsh about that. Maybe since I have a bottle with a fairy in it, I could have survived. But it's done now. But yeah, when you hit that cow, another cow appears, and it does nothing. I've tried hitting it with various weapons and things like that, and that cow does nothing. So I don't know why it's there. But I actually think this is one of the good things about this game. A lot of the things it does are just for atmosphere, I think. I suppose if you're not trying to look for an explanation for cows, I guess they're really for atmosphere as well. But computer game players prefer to think of a better explanation than, you know, the people who created this game want it to be like that, which is really the real explanation for most things. Now, there's a sort of grave thing in the centre of this room that you can climb up, and if you do, although I'm not showing that off in this episode, that probably means at all, you will be able to get to a place where you can see a gold sculpture in front of you. Unfortunately, you can't get it because there's a web in front of it. I don't know what I got though, I've already got 200 rupees. I guess one useful thing is the music sort of warns you when you're about to get attacked. Really, the light likes look fairly horrible as well. Is it strictly necessary to show you this? But I might as well show you the fact that there's a fairy in there. Oh, yeah, it's kind of weird how this sort of membrane closes on these doors, or why this dungeon has doors at all. Or chests in it, considering the fact that you're inside a giant creature. I mean, how does it know that the human's gonna go in there and try to make their way out? It makes no sense. You can hear the sound of a gold sculpture taunting you, because you can never actually get to it. So this is another section where I use saves a lot. Just I don't know. It didn't seem. It would have been wrong for me to not tell you that. It would have been wrong for me to not show you the footage of me attacking it. But I don't know how helpful this is going to be for you working out how to destroy the thing. I wonder how they choose names for these things. I mean, Baronade. Why that name? What has that got to do with anything? Now I suppose something about the Lizphos, I guess. It's a lizard. That makes a certain amount of sense. Yeah, I suppose this is something where I could actually have easily done it without losing too many lives and without the whole saving thing. I just wanted this dungeon to be over, really. I got sick of getting killed. You're gonna watch me getting killed a lot. Or electrocuted. Not quite fully dead. So I suppose this is all I've really got to say about this dungeon. I guess since I've got a couple of minutes, I might as well talk quickly about how I feel about the Phantom Hourglass, which is another Legend of Zelda game I've played, and it's a direct sequel to the Wind Waker, which I haven't played. It has the same sort of cartoonish graphics, less realistic than these, and I don't really like. And instead of having lots of dungeons, it has a small number and then one large dungeon, where as time goes on you collect sort of sand for an hourglass that allows you to be in the dungeon for longer without being killed. I didn't like that it's just one sort of big central dungeon where you can explore it further as you collect more things in the game, rather than being several small dungeons. But I did like the way that you can travel in a boat and plot your own route for that. I thought that was cool. I suspect that's something you can do in the Wind Waker as well, and something that I would enjoy if I ever get that game. I'm aware that that game is well liked. I just prefer the much darker Legend of Zelda games, like this one. But yeah, I thought the Phantom Hourglass was okay. I thought it was an average game. Not terrible, just a bit sort of finding it hard to care. Not dreadful and not great, just nah, I can't be bothered with this. Speaking of which, I've recently played a game called GoldenEye Reloaded, which is another game that makes you go meh a lot. So if you were thinking of getting that, which should be called Call of Duty Reloaded, or I suppose GoldenEye inaccurately named. But yeah, if you're thinking of getting a Call of Duty game which happens to have Daniel Craig's voice in it, don't bother, because you really won't care whether you win or not, and it will frustrate you intensely. That's not for the N64, I was playing it on the Xbox 360. I admit, this has quite a cool death scene. I'll give this boss that. Quite an unpleasant looking death scene, but that kind of suits this dungeon. I'm always a little worried that I'm accidentally going to walk into the blue light thing, transporty thing, without getting the heart container. But what we have now, once we've watched the cutscene, is all 3 of the spiritual stones, and you would have thought that we could move on to the next stage, the Temple of Time. I'll talk about that in a sec. I just want to point out, I left to get a drink at this point, so I just thought I'd let you see her standing there and being annoyed at you. I didn't have to. Basically, I left her doing that for about 10 minutes whilst I went and did something else. But it's quite amusing to just see her expression there, so. But yeah, we actually need to do some side quests first. To be fair, she was standing very close to him. I would feel my personal space was being violated. I wonder what the symbol on his wrist bracelet is. Seriously, I won't want to get that close to her. Ah. Yes, he likes him, really. Now, at least. I've never been brave enough to click not really. Nothing really. Well, we will be going to the Temple of Time eventually. So, these two are now engaged. And she ignores him for a long time, and then she turns out to be spoiler alert. Which means I won't complete that sentence. But yeah, maybe they weren't being compatible anyway. They are two different species. I suppose it's trying to like a cat falling in love with a gerbil. Anyway, that's all of the stones, and that's pretty much the end of this episode. So I will be talking at you a lot in the next one, and for now I'll just let you watch the final few seconds. Bye.